Dear ladies and gentlemen, little sisters and brothers, today's video is designed to expose Saul's merchants in history. How you ponder? Well, the way Little Miss Ivy and I figure, once you perceive the amazing achievements of this one group, transcending all religions, races, borders, and creeds at the most volatile time in world history, we figure once you take into account how much they contributed to the entire world, yet very little is known about them, well, we just figured you will have no other choice but to realize there was angelic power behind them. X marks the spot. Let's begin, shall we? I'm going to let the beat rock more than usual because these guys are just that remarkable. To truly understand what I'm trying to get to, I will have to start in the middle to see if we can pinpoint our man first. Then go back to the beginning to read about their amazing feats. So saying that, and without further ado, according to Wikipedia under Radhanites, Radhanite. Subtitle, French and Greco-Roman Hypothesis. I'm going to cut to the chase. Quote, Cecil Roth and Claude Cahane, among others, make the same claim about the Rhone River Valley in France. Listen to this, which is Rhodanus in Latin and Rhodanus in Greek. Bingo. Same doggone word, people. It's the same word. I believe the Rhodanus is the actual proper name of the people. And then, like they always do, they transliterated it later to protect the guilty. Now let's go back to the beginning to marvel at their achievements. And then we can see whether I'm right, if it's them or not. I think you guys are going to say, yeah. Yeah, these cats, wow. All right? Oh, yeah. Remember when the scriptures told us our ancestors gave their way to strangers, meaning taught those they shouldn't have our way of life? I hope he said yes. Here we go. Quote, the Rahadanites were medieval merchants, some of Jewish origin. Only a limited number of primary sources use the term, and it remains unclear whether they referred to a specific guild or to a clan or generically to Jewish merchants in the Trans-Eurasian Trade Network. Jewish merchants operated in trade between Christians and Islamic worlds during the early Middle Ages, approximately 500 to 1000 BC AD. Very important time, approximately 500 to 1000 AD. And I'm a little off, so I'm still, please forgive me. There we go. Many trade routes previously established under the Roman Empire continued to function during that period, largely through their efforts. Their trade network covered much of Europe, North Africa, the Middle East, Central Asia, and parts of India and China. Stop. Bingo. I believe the sons of the Rhodans were a mixture of program clones of all nations mentioned. Basically, Sora used different nationalities of clones to accommodate the different nations she serviced. I mean, everybody on Earth, except the Cullets, are more comfortable dealing with their own kind. Am I right about it? Somebody tell me if I'm right about it. So as you can see, these guys and the G-Men, yep, the G-Men we discovered earlier, were not only operating at the exact same time, their trade routes actually overlapped. It appears, mind you, this group took over the responsibilities when the G-Men's dispensation was overlapped in history. What are the odds two mysterious merchants with total dominance of the trade without you and I knowing about them all over the place? What are the odds? I mean, have you guys ever heard of these guys before? I sure haven't. But let's continue. Under activities. Quote, the activities of the Rahadanites are documented by, I'm going to just, his name is IBN and that's some long name. I'm just going to call him IBN. All right? The activities of the Rahadanites were documented by IBN, the postmaster, chief of police, and spy master for the province of Jabal under the Caliph, when he wrote in his book of Roads and Kingdoms, in about 870 AD. IBN described the Rahadanites as sophisticated and multilingual. He outlined 4 main trade routes utilized by the Rahadanites in their journeys. All 4 began in the Rhone Valley in southern France and terminated on the east coast of China. The Rahadanites primarily carried commodities that combined small bulk and high demand, including spices, perfume, jewelry, and silk. They are also described as transporting oils, incense, steel weapons, furs, and slaves. Stop bingo. Now does yesterday's upcoming bingo make sense to you? You remember when I told you there was a legitimate reason why the Mediterranean Rhodanians were buried with orientalized Rhodanian jewelry? The answer is it was because they were the mass producers and the merchants for China. Ha! Let's continue, please. Listen to this under text of IBN's account. Quote, the merchants speak Arabic, Persian, Roman, the Frank, Spanish, and Slav languages. Listen to this. They journey from west to east, from east to west, partly on land, partly on sea. Listen closely, listen closely. They transport from the west eunuchs, female slaves, boys, brocade, castor, martine, and other furs and swords. They take ships from Phrygia, which is France, I guess, on the western sea and make for Farama. Stop. They took new and fresh product from the island factories in the west and sold them as they made their way towards the east. Notice how this is worded, people. Quote, they transported from the west eunuchs, female slaves, boys. So, does that mean the boys weren't slaves? I'm not saying that they are the same, but we did just discover the same sell the girls and give away the boys scenario for the Moab and Israel in the scriptures, right? Giving them to the harlots, right? All right. But let's continue for more clues, shall we? Quote, there it is. There they loaded their goods on camelback and go by land to Suez, a distance of 25 furlongs. They embark in the East Sea and sail from the Suez to Al-Jar and Al-Jadada. Then go to the Sid, India, and China. All mass production locations for scheduled update products. Notice that. India, all of them. But let's continue. Quote, on their return from China, they carry back musk, oils, camphor, cinnamon, and other products of the eastern countries to Suez to bring them back to Farama, where they again embark on the western sea. Some make sail for Constantinople to sell their goods to the Romans. Others go to the palace of the king of the Franks to place their goods. Stop. Notice, no slaves on the return trip. Which could only mean They only sell their clone products. And again, the monumental importance of all of this is being done before, during, and after the medieval Dark Ages. Yep, this is all of this is done during the medieval. Damn, I can't. As you can see, I'm struggling. The medieval Dark Ages, people. During that time, all of this is going on at that time, which can only mean they were repopulating with the new as they were spreading the disease to get rid of the old. You know, the old Native American smallpox and the trinket tricks. They were programmed with immunity from the diseases. Thus, why they were able to thrive without worry while the world attests the Justinian plague and the Black Death, etc., killed over one half of all Europe, and continuous wars killed the other half. Yep, clock that understanding. Go look it up. Yeah, so how in the world could they survive if two plagues basically wiped out half of Europe, and they tell you that the wars wiped out over half of Europe? Well, wait a minute now. Well, wait a minute. How do you survive? Not only that, this is off the cuff, and it's really, you would think it's very minute, but it's very important. It's overgrowth. People don't think about that. If no one's there to take care of the land, or hell, just stomp on it, just to eat it, the animals eat it, then you have overgrowth. Europe should have been covered in trees and overgrowth. It's like those pyramids down in South America, where you're not there for a minute or two. Not enough people there. You got overgrowth. All the animals. Things should have been like a jungle in Europe if they weren't repopulating as they was getting rid of with the diseases and the wars. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. I hope that came out right. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get back. Yes, yeah. Which can only mean most people. Okay, let's go back up. And I apologize. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to start right here. They were programmed with immunity from the diseases. Thus, why they were able to thrive without worry, while the world attests the Justinian plagues and the Black Death, etc., killed over one half of all Europe, and continuous wars killed the other half. Yep, clock that understanding. Which can only mean most people this side of the Dark Ages are replicas, plain and simple people. We, the children of the Most High, are the only original seed left upon the earth. While being protected by bondage, say it again, while being protected by bondage, say it again, while being protected by bondage, we slip past each history overlapping until the present time. Thus, the reason why my God said he was preserving the chosen amongst us. Let's continue for more clues.